This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
KPHL signs MOU with Total Energies. Family of the late Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo want immediate justice to be served. And court struck out the election petition filed against Manu's Governor Charlie Benjamin. A very good evening. This is National EMTV News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. Kumul Petroleum Holdings welcomed the commitment of Total Energies to support the unique and nation-building platform, One PNG. A memorandum of understanding was signed today by operator of the Papua LNG project, Total Energies, making PNG LNG a major sponsor for the launch and support of One PNG platform to the value of 250,000 kina. The One PNG platform is a candidate database and career portal that connects young Papua New Guineans with employers with the goal to increase development and sustainable employment of local PNG talents.
Papua New Guineans, young and old, can now upload their work experience and skills with the new One PNG platform, a database career portal that provides a clear pathway to employment no matter the stage of life you're in, whilst granting access of training, life skills content, career advice and employment opportunities.
It's to give an idea of the country's skill level. It's a database that will give a country's profile of the different skills that are necessary when projects are happening, not only in petroleum but in mining, in general construction. Now it will extend to different projects, even agriculture that government is pushing, to basically say that these are the levels, and when we drive national content policies, we know from the database.
The One PNG platform is likened to an extension of the popular social business app LinkedIn, and Total Energy's commitment to the platform has not gone unnoticed by the KPHL Managing Director.
We want to thank Total Energies, Kina Bank, B Mobile. There are a few companies in PNG that have already joined to start the rollout process. A lot of our PNG companies are seeing the value in this, what this portal can do. So, as Kumul Petroleum and that have invested in this, we are very proud to get Total on board. That will hopefully take the message out to potential employees and employers.
With the MOU signing by operator for the Papua LNG project, Total Energies PNG, Papua LNG now becomes the major sponsor of One PNG platform.
So we are very glad to contribute to the development, but mostly to the rollout and the expansion of the rollout of such an important tool. So we clearly understood that the tool developed jointly by Kumul and the UBD can really serve several purposes. One of them being to give to more citizens of Papua LNG the opportunity to bring their competencies to support and to contribute to the development of the project.
The One PNG portal was created by Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited to address shortage of unemployment, opportunities for national citizens, unclear pathways to gainful employment, and a shortage of training and upskilling opportunities. For those interested in the One PNG platform, the app can be downloaded from Google Play Store. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
Family of the late Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo want immediate justice to be served to them. Mrs. Miriam Dondo and her 5 children were clear that they want the perpetrators to face the full force of the law and be behind bars immediately. EMTV News visited the family of the late Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo at Bomana today.
Emotional scenes this morning at the family residence of late Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo as the devastating news started reaching relatives, families and friends. A shocked Mrs. Miriam Dondo, the wife of late Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo, is yet to come to terms with the sudden death of her husband.
Till now, we are still shocked by his passing. We are speechless. It was just yesterday when he was just talking to the girls, and now it's gone. That really shocked us. This passing has really shocked the whole of us. Families are calling. So many questions were asked. No one would answer my questions. How did he die? Who shot him? What happened? All those questions came into mind, but who was going to answer? Because he died in his line of duty, I'd like to call up on the police hierarchy to at least see us through this difficult time.
Miriam described her late husband as a very experienced and dedicated police officer, always diligent when performing his line of duty. The news of the sudden passing of late Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo has left his whole family, especially his daughters, heartbroken and speechless. Speaking on behalf of her siblings, eldest daughter Ludwina Dondo said they want justice for the sudden and untimely death of their father.
I want justice for my father, my siblings. All of us want justice for our father. Our father was a strong man. We still don't accept what happened to him. We just want justice for our father.
The death of Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo is amongst countless other deaths of police officers killed on duty. Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo and his colleagues were responding to a report of drug smuggling and selling at the ATS block when he was wounded by a stray arrow while at the scene to apprehend the drug suspects. He was pronounced dead upon arrival at the Port Moresby General Hospital yesterday afternoon. Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo was attached with the NCD dog unit until his untimely death yesterday while on duty. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
Edai Town Housing Development today signed an MOU with SME Corporation, creating a public-private partnership to set up business incubation center for the southern region to nurture the development of SME businesses in line with national government policy. The setting of the Southern Region Business Incubation Center in Edai Town will provide a suitable environment to develop and nurture SME business development. The Business Incubation Center will include a one-stop center with government facilities co-coordinated by SME Corp, and this will ease transport problems to and from the city and serve the surrounding population as well as the level of participation of SME business.
Very important partnership, public-private partnership in terms of any economic development. The government cannot do it alone. It needs the support of the private sector as far as value chain and supply chain is concerned.
The development of small and medium businesses to serve Edai Town and the neighboring communities in pre-urban setting will provide startup businesses with higher chances of success compared to more intense level of competition in urban areas and lack of purchasing power in very rural areas.
Emerging or developed economies and then also emerging and developing economies. Every country has specific growth centers or incubation center for specific industries where they focus on the concentration of the specific development of a specific industry which contributes to economic development.
Director for Edai Town, Kim Yong, said the opportunity is a stepping stone for SMEs to grow in the area.
Here we hope that we will be the voice of all the SMEs, not for the country, but at least for this part of the country, which is very well versed to be on the springboard to a lot of economic activities.
She said moving forward, the big developments in the area and those yet to come will boost the SME sector in the area.
We hope that with that business incubation center, other than training and businesses, the government, through SME Corp, will create a one-stop center for government services, as well as banks, as well as finance. So here is the chance for an association or for a direction for the SME business to grow.
Meanwhile, Director for the Edai Town Housing Development today updated EMTV News on Phase 3 of the new housing estate. She said more than 300 homes will be ready once the completion of the Stage 3 ends.
Can you get us
Edai Town will soon see the completion of its Phase 3 housing development, according to Director Kim Yong, who spoke to EMTV News today. She said the development should cater for another lot of Papua New Guineans that are looking for affordable homes to live in.
We have now more than 400 houses already built and occupied. So right now we will be finishing within the next, hopefully about 18 months, the balance of Phase 3. So that will get us about 550 houses, another 150 to go. More important and more interesting is we are launching a new line, which is all high-set houses, 220 units of that. All high-set, affordable range. That will be on a new housing ground, just on the other side of the road here.
She said Edai Town is a complete development where safety and security is everything, but also at the same time peace and harmony is maintained. She said schools, shops and other business developments will soon follow.
And we actually have a display home at the moment that the buyers can visit on our Edai Central land. So that gives an idea of what they will live on. It's the same like when we started Edai Town. There was nothing really around. So on the other side, we are again starting on new ground. And we have learned a lot of Papua New Guinean preference. And also the challenge now is to keep the affordability because that is what we keep promoting. At the end of the day, the houses have to be affordable for many families to move in.
She said with the many developments expected to happen around Edai Town, this will also provide local employment as well as business opportunities in the area. Veteran Governor for Manus Province Charlie Benjamin has no election petition to worry about as of today, as the National Court has struck out the election petition filed against him by the petitioner Kepo Pomet. The Court of Disputed Returns decision was handed down by Justice Narokobi today at the Waigani National Court in Port Moresby.
In the matter of a disputed return for the Manus provincial electorate, the National Court of Justice has struck out the petition filed by petitioner Kepo Pomet due to incompetency. Election petition number 2 of 2022 saw petitioner Kepo Pomet challenging Governor Charlie Benjamin and the Electoral Commissioner Simon Sinai in his capacity as Electoral Commissioner of Papua New Guinea. Petitioner Pomet challenged the results of the Manus provincial seat, alleging bribery by Governor Charlie Benjamin. According to the respondents, Governor Benjamin and the Electoral Commission say that the petition does not state facts as required by Section 208 of the Organic Law. Governor Benjamin's lawyer, Willard Stephen, explained the nature of the case.
We've gone through stages where the petition in itself, as at the face of it, it's lacking the substance to pass the test that is required under the Organic Law, especially Section 208 of the Organic Law. So we've gone through our first hurdle was an attempt for the petitioner to try and plead, to redraft these old pleadings. That first stage failed for the petitioner because we successfully defended it, and the court denied that right for him to amend. And as our job as lawyers, we are there to assist the court to come up with the right decisions. And I think that's what we've done. we've managed to assist the court as much as we can. And today, we've got a ruling in favor of the Honorable Governor and the people of Manus.
A relieved governor of the island province shared his sentiments.
Well, from day one, I knew very well that it won't stuck. Because also me talk me assembly sabe believe lo display and passing lo bribery.
He further said that he can now concentrate on performing his mandated duties.
In this case, if I can look him judge, strike him out simply because he not got evidence. It's whilst me look savvy law rights law all individuals law passing law disputes about solely him also straight law think him long. But sometimes it is common sense where he affect him passing law work. When people like work, but then it disturbs me law passing law work.
Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, Governor for Manus Province Charlie Benjamin is keen in addressing development plans of the province along with implementing policies and structures of service delivery. He made this statement today in an exclusive interview with EMTV in Port Moresby.
Governor Charlie Benjamin said big work is underway for the province, with the election petition against him being struck off by the Court of Disputed Writings. He spoke on the development agendas taking place in the province as he is now ready to play his role as governor without worrying about an election petition against him.
Lomi, as you are aware, Manus is the only province where it declared free trade region. The others play me only got a free trade zone, means this particular area where it is for free trade, whereas Manus, it's the whole province. So right now we're working on policies, structures, and all kind of something, we'll put them in place. So that is a big thing where Parliament is right in place. So we need to work along them. Right now we'll come up the province, spot blow them. First 32 kilometers by come up, port towards the western part of Manus. Which might cost almost $500 billion kina, as you are aware. Solwara Manus and a big plus Solwara, and that's why a lot of tunas have been caught. So, me like working all this work, help him economic province, now people love me plus so.
In his term, he intends to help the people of Manus.
Within this few, say 4 years, we're remaining law this term, and me try and best law work now. Help him fast track him all this plus so you can create him economy block province and help him more like a business line block province through want them all spin-offs and all opportunities where come up through. So I'm confident that within the next 10 years Manus would become an envy of a lot of province want them all work when now me work on them. So
Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. The Samara Institute of Leadership and Governance will be delivering 6 training programs to the newly recruited cadets of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary this year. To officially formalize the training to be delivered, a cheque of 228,000 kina was presented to Silag by the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary on behalf of the Bomana College of Excellence.
This is the first of its kind for Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary to include Silag Public Service training programs as part of the cadet training package at the Bomana College of Excellence. The 6 courses are consistent with the Institute's mandate of implementing the competency-based training and assessment framework in PNG. These are 3 years course including strategic planning, budget preparation and expenditure, project management, recruitment and selection, public service ethics and compliance with legislation. The CEO of PILAG, Michael Barrobe, says persons interested in being public servants must be trained at SILAG. He says they offer these courses to the police officers to become leaders to inspire, influence, lead and manage in whatever work they do as disciplinary forces.
For the police department to recognize PILAG is a way forward for any other government departments in this country, even the provincial administration, because PILAX is here to provide capacity that they need. And organizations become bright, and organizations become efficient and effective in delivering goods and services once you have trained your staff members or once you have given a good capacity to your people out there.
He assured the police training team that they will deliver these 6 courses very well, so that after the training, the officers will be very competent leaders in the public service. Training Director of Bomana National Center of Excellence, Superintendent Maria Jones, officially presented the check to SILAG on behalf of Assistant Police Commissioner of Bomana Police School of Excellence, John Colopen.
Of the Assistant Commissioner would now ask the team to officially present the check. It's a dummy check, but the check to PILAG for the 6 courses.
She stated that they are doing this to make sure that their cadets receive the best training in leadership and management.
Our goal at the National Center of Excellence is to train and develop leaders of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary who will become meaningful leaders or effective leaders who will deliver their duties efficiently at their respective deployment sections in the country.
Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
President for Kutubu LLG, John Pipi Kila, today presented a check of 5 million kina to a local contractor, Roxfield Engineering and Construction, to build a new Kutubu LLG chamber. Present at the presentation were LLG ward members, project consultant and staff from the Roxfield Engineering and Construction. A part payment of 5 million kina check presentation and launching of the design for the new Kutubu local level government chambers saw present the Kutubu LLG President John Pipi Kila and his ward councillors together with their project consultant and workers of the contractor get together at Ella Beach Hotel today for the launching ceremony. President for Kutubu LLG, John Pipi Kila, presented a check of 5 million kina to the contractor, Roxfield Engineering and Construction, to kickstart the project tomorrow.
Now, me Kutubu local level government yet, me yet building more me am houseman block Kutubu, I'm still a backside here. I'm houseman block Kutubu, basta block Kutubu. So me building, so this la cost block this la, and me put him Kutubu local level government council want that me yet put in 5 million.
He said with the project worth 15 million kina, the part payment of 5 million kina is to get the project started so that after many years, finally Kutubu LLG can finally have a chamber to service its people.
This time tomorrow engineer workman start here, backside here, you looking. This workman or engineer want them all balus import Mosby. Now by Gondol Pimanga. Pimanga na looking now start work tomorrow.
Project consultant Alan Riggs thanked John Pipi Kila and his leaders for their hard work and to provide such infrastructure that will benefit the people in the long run.
Plus support, now initiative where Kutubu local government is making, and we put in funding come inside, and we first stage of the project, President and we talk finish total hospital project, and we 15 million kina. But you got developmental stages, but first we play developing the chamber project.
Also present to thank the President John Pipi Kila was village leader Dabura Kamuna for the great work that President Pipi Kila is doing as he works closely with the people.
This is the way forward. Kutubu project has been around since 1994, 92. From 1992 up to now, it's almost 30 years ago. And you will see for yourself what is there actually, what has transpired.
Mr. John Pipi Kila, President for Kutubu LLG, presented the check of 5 million kina to the contractor Roxfield Engineering and Construction, who will be working on building the new chamber for Kutubu LLG.
Mostly na kila bin Pimanga station, me put him houseman block 4 na faso
President John Pipikila, who also thanked Governor William Powie for his continuous support in the province, is hoping that all leaders of the province will come together to support build the new Kotubu LLG chamber. Tebi local level government in Hela province held a meeting at Tari town in Hela province that brought together everyone and essential stakeholders yesterday to address the ongoing tribal fights in Hela province. The meeting served as a platform for participants to voice their concerns and call for an end to violence, urging a renewed focus on peace and development.
The Education Director, Ronnie Angu, confirmed that Oyebia Secondary and High School in the province will resume classes this week following a temporary suspension due to the recent unrest. He urged all stakeholders to work together to address the pressing issues of peace and development in the area. The District Education Advisor for Taripori, Howard Matiabe, acknowledged that the tribal fights in Kukuwan and Kukutu posed a threat not only to the lives of those involved, but also to critical government services. The community members must step up to report any criminal offences so that police can do their jobs by arresting those responsible. During the meeting, the provincial station commander and PNGDF advised the community to come forward with any information they may have about the individuals involved in these activities. The PSC assured the community that necessary measures would be taken to address the issue and maintain peace and security in the region. Participants were all in agreement that achieving peace and development could only be possible through the dedicated efforts of all. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
The landowners who are the rightful freehold title holders of all the land for which PRL 15 sites within the upstream segment of the Papua LNG project, represented by the Purari Development Trust, have made a stand together to support their chairman, Jacob Kyrie, to ensure the collective needs of their people are met.
The General Secretary of the Purari Development Trust Board, Akokone, affirmed that the PDT board stand firm as the voice of the people of Baimuru in support of their chairman and the Purari Development Trust.
Moving forward in a more united, as a united force, we have the 9 tribes who are united with us and fully supported with men, women, who are members of the trust, and we feel that we are the voice of the people, and we are the voice of the people. Baimuru needs to know that the game has started.
A member of Purari Development Trust, Ivan Vai, stressed the need for Papua LNG to result in tangible benefits that the people can experience, and the project should change their lives for the better.
With the developer, when they drive this project, I want to see better houses in our villages, and also I want our children to go to schools.
Chairman of the project area says it's sad to see there is no tangible development in the areas where the pipeline is and all the extraction that is taking place.
I will wave that flag when it's necessary.
Chairman Kyrie made it clear that they will not accept a copy and paste of the old terms and conditions from 14 years ago within the previous license-based sharing agreements. Kyrie further stated that they have learned a lot in 14 years and they have more to offer 14 years on. Kyrie stated that the PDT has engaged a world-class team that will assist the people of Baimuru and Papua New Guinea to receive more benefits from the Papua LNG project. They stand ready for dialogue and to negotiate the terms and conditions that will bring beneficial outcomes for all. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2840 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, Yokina was buying $0.2765 US dollars, $0.4142 Australian dollars, 0.2443 euro, 37.59 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading lower, coffee closed lower, cocoa closed lower, copra closed lower, palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading higher, and copper closed higher. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading lower. National EMTV News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. For nearly 30 years, the 25 Porgera small mining lease landowners have only benefited from their royalty and equity payouts. As New Porgera undergoes the groundwork to reopening, the 25 Porgera SML LOs under the 7 clan heads have registered an umbrella company known as ARI Group of Companies, and the landowners are now calling on developer Barrick New Guinea Limited and the state to ensure that they give contracts to the immediate landowners.
In a media conference today, Porgera landowners representing the 25 small mining lease area of Porgera Gold Mine spoke to media about their plans to ensure they have an 80 to 90% benefit of the mine, with the announcement that they have already registered an umbrella company.
Benefit, around 30 years, 25, umbrella company for 30 years. People are missing out for benefits as spin of business, like contract. Mibla no kisim wambla. Stop zero. Now a certain man will walk kisim na. I'm a Barrick one man walk give him out like loan so Mibla no contact to one all.
Director of the ARI Group of Companies, Saibo Kuringi, revealed that over the years his people have missed out on bigger benefits that can be derived from the operational costs of Porgera, and that is why the umbrella company has been registered with IPA.
Valuable contracts have been go out long every year 700 million. So Mibla BC law, 2.5% law, equity law, side staff na, 2% of value shipment law, royalty na. Tribal 700 million per year, operational cost, Mibla missed him out. So now Mibla realizing Mibla come up with this umbrella company where DVD mentioned one ARI Group of companies.
Paramount Chief and Porgera Landowners Chairman Nixon Mangape is in full support of the landowners. Mr. Mangape claimed that this is what Barrick said about the umbrella company.
Barrick after me give him last 30 years, me give him 1.7 billion. Kina contract equal of Papa Ground. Suppose I give me blow Papa Ground, yeah. And me blow suppose only one can house or some Lo Mosby or Lay or Goroga or somewhere within the country or offshore. That 1.7 is a slap in the face of 10 to 20,000 SML landlords.
For now, the 25 SML landowners are preparing the position papers to be presented at the Porgera Development Forum when a date is set. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
President for Kutubu Local Level Government John Pipikila today, upon presenting a cheque of 5 million kina to a local contractor, Roxfield Engineering and Construction, to build a new Kutubu LLG chamber, is calling on the provincial leaders to work together to help build Kutubu.
And 15 million, still stop yet. So chamba, mibla go past one of chamba, and most 5 billion come. So another 10 million come more long building Pimaga station, na chamba, na making big work come up long, take back PNG, and also people like Pimaga come back. Also me like my Southern Highlands Governor, William Powie, me like him work one me, na develop Pimaga station, Kutubu Poi Faso.
Minister responsible for civil aviation and transport, Walter Schnaubelt, has hit back at critics, assuming that he has been appointing recycled leaders to fix the issues at the National Airport Corporation. Since the sidelining and now termination of former NAC MD and CEO Rex Kiponge, the minister appointed Joseph Tupiri, who failed to deliver on his key performance indicators, one of which was to immediately undertake an audit and give a financial position report of the NAC, which amounted to nothing and led to his dismissal. Now, with the new appointment of Joseph Quintao as the acting MD and CEO, the question had to be asked, and when EMTV News quizzed Minister Snowbelt on appointing recycled leaders to fix NAC's issues, this was what the minister's response was.
Taking the organization down a different path altogether, okay, where now safety and security are now being compromised, which, to me, you don't have to be Einstein to figure this one out. That if you do not act now as minister in government, then are we allowing something serious to happen? And, the buck stops with me as minister responsible. I need as many experiences as I can, all right? I don't have all the answers to all the situation. I've got to see it, I've got to absorb it, and then I've got to make a decision as calculated as I can in the best interest of people and country. And I think that's what I have done.
And moving to overseas news now, and the UN is expecting more than 800,000 refugees from the war-torn Sudan.
For nearly 3 weeks, shootings, bombings and violence has rocked the streets of Sudan as the country's army fights for power against a paramilitary group. So far, more than 500 people have been killed and nearly 5,000 people injured. And despite both rival groups agreeing to extend a ceasefire, heavy fighting has continued on the streets of Sudan's capital. Both sides are blaming each other for the violations, and the situation remains incredibly dangerous. Nations from around the world have been working for weeks to get their citizens out, including British flights that have also taken many Australian citizens to safety. Others have escaped via ship, but most countries warn the window for evacuations is soon closing.
It was very hard. I had to take a long trip from Khartoum to Port Sudan. I left my family back there because they couldn't leave their home. So yes, it was very hard. But since I got on the ship, it was very good.
The First Republic Bank in the U.S. has received a buyout from JP Morgan.
Order, and really there was no path forward after that. They were looking for a private solution in terms of another bank coming in to acquire the institution, but unfortunately those efforts failed. The regulator in the United States, the FDIC, came in to close the bank over the weekend and then found a buyer subsequently in the form of JP Morgan Chase. Really, it was very similar to what happened with SVB. Both banks are based in the San Francisco area in California. They bank larger depositors, somewhat different with SVB, banking startups and venture capital companies. With First Republic, it's high net worth folks with lots of money tied within the organization. And when there was fears that contagion was seeping into First Republic, those large depositors exited for supposedly safer institutions like larger banks in the U.S. In the form of JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America.
Protests in France continue against President Macron's pension reforms.
The May Day March, a French tradition reaching back decades, but fueling this year's protest, the vision of a future where people must work longer. Grandmother Clara, a retired postal worker, is refusing to accept the new law.
And we're in the street and making a mess, a really good mess. I think it's possible to win. I'm here to win.
Within minutes, the soundtrack of the city changed. the hardcore clashing with some of the 5,000 Parisian police on patrol. A cloud now hangs over President Macron's second term in office after he bypassed Parliament to get his signature policy through.
Celebrities and fashion elites mark Karl Lagerfeld's legacy in the fashion industry.
Lagerfeld died in 2019 after a 65-year career, during which he designed for labels including Fendi, Chloe and, more notably, Chanel. This year's theme at the Metropolitan Museum of Art sparked public criticism due to Lagerfeld's controversial comments on women's bodies, the Me Too movement and the Syrian refugee crisis. But event organisers have said the theme is an ode to Lagerfeld as a designer and his process rather than him as a person. And gala guests have begun arriving, showcasing their elaborate looks to hordes of photographers and onlookers. As Lagerfeld worked for nearly 6 decades, there are more than enough designs to inspire attendees. We're already starting to see typical Chanel flair in romantic silhouettes, gold chains and tailored suiting. The fundraiser will be hosted by Michaela Cole, Penelope Cruz, Roger Federer and Dua Lipa, along with Vogue's Anna Wintour, of course.
National MTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The NCDC Moniplus Port Moresby Vipers over the weekend, after losing in round 2, came out successful last weekend. Vipers walked away with 18 points to Wigmen 14 at the final hooter. Having won their season opener at the start of the 2023 season, the NCDC Port Moresby Vipers proved too strong as they walked away victorious after playing to a home crowd advantage. In the second match, which was an away match, the NCDC Port Moresby Vipers failed to maintain their win against the Agmak Robal Gurias, who were too strong for the Vipers. On Sunday, the NCDC Moniplus Vipers gave the Hela Wigmen a run for their money after both teams went into the playing field at the Santos National Football Stadium. Despite the tough contest between the two teams, Vipers had every reason to lead the match, especially with the home crowd advantage to lead the first half. In the second half, Vipers maintained their winning streak into the second half as they blocked off their opponent, having their defence tight. Despite the close match and the Wigmen catching up, the Vipers wasted no time to quickly make their mark as the dominant side to place a final try before the final hooter. They saw the Vipers walk away with their head held high, with the full-time score Moniplus Vipers 18, Wigmen 14. Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. An overlooked knock-on by the Canberra Raiders in their match against the Dolphins has been reviewed.
But there was a knock-on that was missed by the officials. You can see it here. The Raiders played at the ball. They ended up not turning the ball over, instead getting another set of 6, and then only 4 plays later in the golden point state of the game. There's that finish. Jamal Fogarty finishing the drop goal, and the Raiders end up winning. Now, after all was said and done, and they obviously review all decisions and all the matches.
That ends Trukai Sports. The Moniplus weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Moniplus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby, cloudy periods with chances of patchy rain and thunderstorm. Daru, Kerema, Alatau and Popondetta, cloudy with some rain showers and thunderstorm. In the Momase region, Ley and Medang, cloudy with few showers and possible thunderstorm. Wewak and Vanimo, evening showers easing, then cloudy periods. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, Kavieng, and Kimbe, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm. Kokoporabaul and Buka, evening showers easing, then cloudy periods. And in the Highlands region, all centers, cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorm, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by Moniplus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Tuesday, the 2nd of May, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.